This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
It is bedlam. It is pandemonium. It is fandemonium.
And welcome to 24/7 Buff Fandemonium presents the K-Gun Report. I'm your host, Jared. 7-2, baby. All right. I'm your host, Jared. Joining me tonight, we have Scott Dynasty once again.
Hey.
We have Swank.
Yep.
And we have a good friend of ours tonight joining us, special guest Nick Wagner. We're doing the Salute to Service for November. Oh, we got the noise going on. Salute to Service with Nick Wagner, 4-year Air Force vet. Welcome, Nick.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. Like Jared said, Air Force veteran, 2000 to 2004. Just like to give a shout out to any active duty military members that may be out there listening possibly, or just in general. And of course, any veterans out there. Of course, tomorrow is Veterans Day. So for all those that have served, are serving, and have served before, we salute you, our veterans, right?
We do. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for your service for everyone. Today is happy birthday to the Marine Corps, too, so we might as well throw that out there as well. Nick, I'm going to have you start. What are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking a spiced whiskey from a local distillery here in Pittsburgh. Cheers.
Nice. Looks delicious.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yummy.
And Swank, what do you got down there?
Oh, it's creeping up on a pay week, so got this award-winning PBR.
It'll get here.
Right? It won a blue ribbon once.
Once. They'll never let you forget it.
All right. Looks like Scott's going to be drinking the old Blue Moon. Go ahead, Scott.
I got the trend going. It's been a couple weeks in a row, the Blue Moon. I can't get away from it. And if you notice back here,
your wife run out of beer, Scott? You had to dip into her stick. Okay, I get it.
I got the Josh Jacks back there too, guys. Just got a box of them. This
Oh,
week, so
sweet. Did you
go.
try
All right,
them?
The wife's gonna be pissed I'm drinking all her beer, but whatever.
Yeah, because I see you got a nice bottle of Iron Smoke whiskey back there too.
Yeah, it's empty. What are you drinking, Jared?
Did you try the Josh Jacks?
No, not yet. I'm afraid to open the box. Do I get one of those big frames where I can put it in there, or do I open the box and ruin it? I don't know. I don't know.
Guy that probably has Flutie Flakes sitting above his bed in his, I mean, come on, just eat them already.
It's too late now.
Right next to
I have a box of
Torello's.
unopened Flutie Flakes in my garage right now.
There you go.
Until the mice get there.
Never.
Never.
What are you drinking,
All right,
Jared?
guys. I'm going to join you tonight. I'm going to be drinking Founders All Day IPA. It's a lovely beer. They call it all day because you can drink it apparently all day.
And I have done that, and I would not recommend that.
No, I wouldn't either. All right, guys. Let's cheers it up to a 7-2 Buffalo Bills start.
Clink.
Bam.
Clink.
Cheers.
There you go.
All right, everyone. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Our handles are on the tracker below, along with updated stats, injuries, and Buffalo Bills news. Guys, 7-2, like I mentioned before. We beat those Seattle Seahawks that everyone had us not really doing well against. And I'm going to start right off and say I'm glad, I would not last one day in the NFL as a manager or a coach, because every time I, predict something or think of a certain game plan is going to happen, it gets totally thrown out the window. The Buffalo Bills offense attacked, the defense attacked, and oh my gosh, it was awesome to watch. Swank, I'm going to start with you. How'd you watch the game? What'd you drink during the game, and what'd you think of it?
I watched the game very happy, and I got very drunk on PBRs because it was still a non-pay week on Sunday. And we got up the night before. My buddy came over. He bought a $75 brisket from local butchery there in Geneva, Bostrom Farms, and brought a smoker over, and we threw it in there and started her at midnight and pulled her off at like 10:30 a.m. And my wife made crock pot mac and cheese. And then I sat down and got real comfortable and waited for this ass whooping that was supposed to come. And you know what? It just never came, you guys. Never came.
What a relief. You didn't have frozen pizza like some of us did?
No, not this weekend.
You
This was
frozen
actually the
pizza,
first
Scott?
I was talking all that big game when we first started this. That was what we were supposed to do like every weekend. This is literally the first time it happened. So it was great. But yeah, I loved every single minute of every single play of every part of that game. It was the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen, second to my wedding day,
Well, Swank, they made it easy for us. They went right down. They drove. They scored a touchdown, 3 and out, and then we scored again. So it wasn't long before we were up 14-0, so we could start getting a little loose.
The best part about, well, not the best part, but like one of the best parts about Sunday was that my friend's girlfriend is a Seattle Seahawks fan, and she was the only one here, and we were very respectful. She did not want to partake in the jumping up and down and high fives and stuff, so I just gave her a couple of namaste, let her be calm. And then
we could be good. We could be nice fans sometimes. Right?
Yeah. When Russell bombed that one down, and it was like that extended play and the blown coverage and whatever. Who was it? Dallas in the end zone or something? I can't even remember who it was, but he caught that like garbage time TD.
Yeah, I remember.
And she was like dead quiet through the whole thing. It was super funny. Like she just like was like, yeah. Like after being silent for like 3 hours, like she got that one play.
Forgot she was there.
Yeah.
Justin, you lost me at brisket, and then I don't know what else you said, but
yeah.
hell of a day, man.
Yeah, it was great.
Now, for all of you watching, Nick's down there in Pennsylvania. He watched his favorite team is actually the Philadelphia Eagles, and we give him credit for that. He lives down there, might as well cheer for him. But he let us know that he watched plenty of game tape and all that stuff. So he'll have a couple things to say about yesterday's game.
Appreciate
Sunday's
that, Jared.
game.
I'm an upstate New York guy who lives in Pittsburgh and is an Eagles fan. So go figure. I don't know how you figured it out, but it is what it is at this point, right? So yeah. definitely a Bills fan. Have been a Bills fan for a long time. My number one team are the Eagles, of course. I do root for the Steelers just because I live 4 miles from Heinz Field. But I've always liked the Bills, obviously being from upstate New York. So it's good to see them doing well, man. It's been a while, so it's nice. But there's certainly been trending in the right direction for the last couple of years. So cheers to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hell yeah. And somehow I got VIP access to the Bills locker room, so that's always good too.
So I don't want to drop any names, Mark Levy, but I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy. So he was able to get me in. And what's that? You want me out in 5 minutes? Not a problem. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, is the next screen picture a dumpster?
Possibly it's either that or a picture of myself and Joe Exotic,
Yes.
which he's one of my, I look up to him a lot.
I mean,
Great guy.
That's good.
God damn it, Carol Baskin,
Yeah.
Carol Baskin, God damn.
Carol Baskin.
I'd just like to let Nick know that you are officially the most popular guest that we've ever had. We have some people asking some questions and making some comments. Eric Gordner seems to think
Can only imagine.
you're drinking Smirnoff Ice, which I thought that possibly you were. And then Mr. Daniel Along Guy says, I guess you guys let anyone on this show. And then Eric Gordner said, go Steelers.
I'm surprised that he actually has internet out there himself. So impressive that he's watching.
Are they greenlighting it? Is that how that's working down there?
Hey,
Possibly.
we got fiber optics, okay?
I think that might be their way of asking if they can be on the show. I think they're a little jelly, Nick. Don't let them.
There's a
bother
couple
you.
Amish kids that throw lightning bolts across town. And that's all.
No, those two
Glad
will
you guys
definitely be
tuned in,
guests when their week's up. Those two will definitely be showing
Yeah.
up on the show. So be
Longy's a
ready.
Niners fan, and Nick Eric is a Steelers fan.
Steelers
so,
fan.
Yeah, we'll have them on.
Hey Swank, I got to ask you really quick though. You said you were sitting there nice and comfy with beverage in hand and TV in sight.
Mhm.
How long was it before you were up and jumping? Can I guess like
First-
2 seconds when
first
Andre
off.
Roberts started taking it up
Oh,
the
yeah.
sideline?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. That run back.
I tell you what, that guy is a momentum changer, and gosh,
What?
man,
Dude, you can't
Yeah.
say this right now because I'm the dude that does all the editing, so I can go back through all the episodes and I can just find all those like clips where you're like, Andre Roberts, we need Christian. What's his name?
Christian Wade.
Christian Wade.
Yeah, we need Christian Wade and a cup of tea instead of Andre Roberts. And I tell you what, sir, it's nice to have you on my side this right now. But I know for a fact that it's a bandwagon moment for you right now, Jared Reed.
I think it's a bandwagon moment for a lot of Bills fans that were not. I mean, I don't know why teams were having a hard time signing him. The guy is. My first notes here for the Seahawks game is our special teams are special. He's third ranked in kickoff returns at 30 yards, 29.94. I'm going to round up, and fourth ranked punt return for 12.93. So we'll go 13 yards punt return. So he's basically the number one kick punt returner in the NFL. And to start that game off with that 60-yard kick return to put us down at the 40, the momentum started there. And Bass went 5 for 5, 3 for 4 for field goals, missed a long one. Bojorquez kicked 2 balls that went 54 each for punting.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't catch that.
Bojorquez. And not only that, but when Bass finally lets the kickoff team return a ball, our kickoff team is tackling them inside the 20 every time. So our special teams are special. I think it's unsung heroes of the special team coaches. Sometimes you hear about them, but holy cow, our special teams are showing up and showing out. And Andre Roberts is the leader of them all.
Absolutely. I was so happy that he caught that, and that's what they needed to do. That's what we were talking about. You got to come out and you got to punch them in the mouth. I mean, you can't. They didn't let off the gas one play. Like the whole game, they were just ramming it right down their throat, and it was beautiful.
Well, third quarter was kind of iffy, but that seems to be a trend.
Whatever. I mean, I just love that they never trailed. There was like some times where you thought maybe Russell Wilson was going to turn into Russell Wilson, and it just never happened. You know, for a good majority of the game, we were up by 2 scores. You know, and I don't want to hop all around. There's like so much to talk about, but I did. I wanted to point out that what you were saying about Darren Lee there, like possibly pulling him up from the practice squad and all that stuff and using him as a spy. I think you should get partial credit for that, because that's exactly what they did with AJ Klein, and it was perfect for him. Like, that's what he needed to do, and he balled out. Like, what a great game for that guy, and I'm so happy for him, because he was.
I'm glad you called him. I'm glad you called him out just now. I know we asked military vet last week, Joe, our cousin, about AJ Klein, because he's a linebacker guy, and even the media had him not doing too well, questioned him this week. And I called out Darren Lee saying I think he should spy Wilson. And it was a different kind of spy. I was thinking, like, sit back and just go wherever he goes. Apparently with AJ Klein, they had him spying Wilson, but it was more in an attack mode. And I think they misplayed AJ Klein. I think he's not good at coverage, but I think what he did this week, attack, hit the edge, hit the gaps, get the quarterback. I think we found something, and it's week 9, and I think we found out what AJ Klein is good at, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. They were saying that they thought that maybe, everybody was saying Klein was playing the Milano role. He actually played more of the Tremaine Edmonds role. And they like flip-flopped, and it was good for everybody all around. So I really hope that they stick with that going into this week coming up, because I think
you know who plays better when someone's playing the Tremaine Edmonds role? Tremaine Edmonds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
11 tackles, 1 sack, 2 for loss, and a pass defense. I mean, he was all over the place. There wasn't a play that you did not see him coming off the pile.
No, he was aggressive too. He came up on the ball quick, and he read the holes right, filled in where he needed to. And going back to the Klein, the biggest concern was his getting sideline to sideline, and that's just not how he plays. He's a go-get-him type of guy, run up the field, and that's exactly how he played Wilson, which is awesome. And he deserves a hey because he got, again, his first sack as a Buffalo Bill and a second. And as we're doing the hey, we're going to throw out another one for Trey White, because he got his first interception. So congrats, guys, on finally getting that for the season. And let's keep it going with those.
Yeah, great pick. Just to get back on Edmonds, I would agree. He's got a brother that plays in Pittsburgh, the same position. And, he's a good player. He doesn't do any one thing spectacular, but he does a lot of things really good. I think that's the kind of player that he is in Buffalo. But, we can't ask too much of the guy, but I think he's doing the small things, the right way. So he's a good player. But Tre'Davious White getting that first INT. I think he's going to get another one this week too.
Yeah.
You better save your bold predictions for later, man.
All around, so I'd like his chances getting another pick this week.
And Nick, he's also covering another big wide receiver in DeAndre Hopkins, and he's been able to handle him pretty well in the past. DeAndre will get his catches and his numbers, but Trey White seems to put a shutdown on him every time they meet up.
It'd be a good matchup for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So guys, as we're watching the game, like you said, there was a different approach than what we all expected. They pretty much attacked the whole game. Starting off with the special teams, we hit that. Let's talk about this offense and how I think the first 39 plays, they only ran the ball 3 times. We as Buffalo Bills fans, we've seen it over and over again on fan pages and stuff. We'd like to see a run game get established. But about 4:30 on Sunday, I was like, what do we need a run game for? It'd be nice to get one, but that's not the way this offense is going. And it's kind of, I'm relaxed more watching the game, because I know I used to be concerned that there's no run game, but we don't need one. Alan's
You're
doing
right.
great.
I mean, we don't need a run game, but what happens when you don't need a run game is that it's a surprise when they use it. I had a couple questions with their run game. I mean, Moss had 9 carries over 2 for Singletary, which is, I don't know if the tides are turning in that regard, but Singletary's only year number 2 and Moss is a rookie. It may be situational football. seeing Moss get so many touches. But yeah, they aired it out, and I think Swank and Jared and Wags will agree that the importance of Mr. John Brown in that offense and that passing game is crazy. And I'm gonna let Swank take over here real quick. But the first pass touchdown to Isaiah McKenzie, that was John Brown. John Brown did a quick curl. Allen did a fake, brought the safety right up because they're so concerned with John Brown, and Isaiah McKenzie was able to do that post corner and score a touchdown, and that set the tone for the rest of the game.
Isaiah McKenzie, another guy that I wanted to make the roster that nobody else did. Anyway,
that's why I said you were coming. That's why I said you were coming.
Yeah, they were saying that if you put a bet in Vegas on who the first 3 touchdown passes would be to in that game for the Buffalo Bills, that like nobody ever would have won any sort of money.
No.
Like it was ridiculous. They didn't even have like those really shitty Fox graphics for them. Like they're drawing like the characters of all the players.
I saw that.
Yeah. So like they didn't have one for McKenzie, and like the announcer like had to like stutter for a minute to figure out who it was. And then he called Kraft Bees, I think. And then he was like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, Tyler Kraft." And they didn't have.
And then he didn't have an image.
Yeah. Like Isaiah, it just said Buffalo Bills touchdown. That's what it said. And then it said Tyler Kraft or Croft touchdown, and it had the Bills logo.
Bills logo.
And then I think they had one for like Gabe Davis or something. That was it.
They did have one for Gabe.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as like the passing running thing, I'm down for whatever's winning us games. And right now, passing games fire, and you know, I don't think the running game is that bad. I think especially with Feliciano coming back, I think they can run it. I just don't think they want to. And I don't know if you guys saw Pete Carroll's interview afterwards. He was like dumbfounded that like they didn't run. And I was like, man, the dude put up like 250 yards in the first half. And you didn't think like in the second half they're going to come back and like keep at it. Like,
Seattle has the 31st ranked pass defense, so why wouldn't you keep throwing the ball in the air?
And he was just like, I can't believe they just didn't like they didn't even try to run. It's like
didn't have to.
Yeah, man. Why do you need to? Oh, it's really funny on the highlights that we're playing right now of the game, that the Gabe Davis graphic just came up for the Fox thing, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But
oh, it's so awesome.
Yeah, man, I think offensively, like Josh played out of his mind. I know we'll probably get into the whole donation thing. Like that's incredible with what Bills Mafia is doing, and Josh getting over that the death of his grandmother. And you know, I like the play it close to the vest. I like the, you know, just the subtle class. You know, like he didn't need to bring it out. He didn't want it weighing on his mind. He waited until he didn't even bring it out. McDermott
No, it wasn't
did.
him that talked about it. Yeah.
So I mean, playing through all that shows a lot of poise. He's, you know, he's evolving in his third year exactly the way everybody wanted him to evolve. He played that game exactly the way everybody would have wanted him to play it. I mean, I don't know. I've heard people complaining about that game. I don't know why. Like you literally can't ask.
There has to be some games where a quarterback just steps up and plays and wins the game for the team, right? Yeah. I think the Bills just put the game in his hands. I think he's that capable. I think that's how good of a quarterback he is. This is a guy that can carry a team. He wasn't just the best quarterback on the field. He was the best player on the field yesterday or Sunday. I apologize. But, I mean, that's what he can do. That's his potential. And I think he's reached it. I mean, that's why they ran the ball, I think, 14 times or whatever it was, less than that. But Allen had 7 carries himself. But, you know, the guy can carry a team. And I'm not surprised, you know.
Yeah,
well, he's a big body quarterback like Roethlisberger is, and he runs the ball, and he will put a game in his own hands if he has to. And your boy Carson Wentz or Hurts going to be there soon. I don't know who's going to play for them, but
Wentz hurts. Yeah,
I know.
Relatively healthy so far this year. Knock on wood. Not sure what's going to happen.
Right. But we talk about the offense and how good they're doing, and we always bring back the Dable and his play call. He's calling since he's went up to the booth. I think his play calling has been amazing.
Yeah, stay up there.
And if I can, I'm gonna. teach the fans about how the play calls during the season affect one of the plays that happened against
Here we
the
go.
Seattle Seahawks. You ready for this?
I can't wait.
Jet sweep. We love the jet sweep, right?
Yeah.
Jet sweep. Isaiah McKenzie. Okay, we're at the goal line. We love the fake run, quarterback, keeper up the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love that play. We love Josh Allen run up the middle. They called a play that was perfect timing, and you could tell because everything fell right into place. And this is Daboll working with what's been working. He had Isaiah McKenzie coming across when Josh Allen faked that jet sweep. Then he stepped back, Moss lead blocking, went up the hole to the right side, and then he stopped and dumped the ball off to Gabriel Davis coming across the middle.
Yeah.
You saw the linebacker hesitate with the Isaiah McKenzie, and you saw the safety come up with that draw, which made Isaiah Davis wide open. That was like the best play I've ever seen, and just to see how everything worked out perfect based on all the plays they've called the last 8 games. Daboll's on fire. He's on fire. And he knows that he's on fire because he's letting Josh Allen do what Josh Allen does.
Well, we kind of talked about this a little bit last week too with like the New England game, right? Which obviously that's not as big of a splash game, like whatever. Yeah. But all the motion that they're doing, like the fake direct snaps, the fake jet sweeps, like they've established that over the last 2 seasons as something that they like to do when they can do it. And it's almost like establishing the run in a single game where like as soon as you do that, then it opens up the pass, right? I think that these like, sweeps and all that stuff, they've been so successful with it for seasons that like now people have to guard against it. And now they can just run people in motion like that, faking it, and a defense has to pay attention to it. So
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And Josh Allen as your quarterback, I think it makes it that much more worse. I mean, this guy can with sweeps and with motion in the backfield, this guy is so dynamic that you have to be open for anything. So keeping the defense on their heels is what it's about. So I think they use that to their advantage. And to your point, I think the offensive coordinator has done a great job.
100%. I wouldn't have said that 2 years ago, but right now, 100%. Yeah.
Now, is this a guy that's been on the field and he moved up into the grandstands or into the skybox since? What's the difference there? I don't get it.
It was starting to become colder weather, so I think he went upstairs. And then once he was upstairs calling the play calls, we noticed that the offense started picking up a little bit better.
Nice and toasty, so he's going to have a better
good view.
But
I'd rather be on the guy.
The question I think Nick was asking,
I'd rather be in combat with my soldiers, but whatever.
I think what Nick was asking is when you're on the field as a coach, you're not seeing the play develop because it's hard to see the play develop. When you're up in the skybox, you can actually see how everything opens right up. So you're not waiting for that paper to come down to look it over or on their internet to look it over. It's right there in front of you, and you can call a play now instead of looking at the film and then calling it later. So you can react a lot quicker than how the defense is reacting up in the skybox than they would down below.
I guess.
The only thing you would be missing out is if a player maybe was to come over to you and say, hey, so-and-so is playing tight coverage. I'm going to be open on this type of pattern. But maybe that's something that they relay to another coach that can send it up to Daboll. But that's another thing is that he's up there with other coaches where you can see the whole field and see the play calls, and he's not having the players in his ear down on the field. You know what I mean? So
I get it. The coaches have coaches, coaches. I get it.
Yeah. I think really it's just as simple as like he shook it up one game last year. And when he went up there, they won, and then he just stuck with it. Like, I really think that's what happened. And then he got used to being able to lord over everything and see things. And maybe, I mean, there was some times where Josh messed up, and Daboll gave him a couple opportunities to, like, kind of, oh, it's okay, like, walk it off kind of stuff. And then there was times where he was screaming in his face, being like, why did you throw that ball? Like, so maybe that separation between them two has actually made him closer is what I'm thinking. And that he can see the field a little better. He can let Josh cook. And,
Is he watching?
Yeah, I don't know. But
He'll tune in, though. He'll tune in.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a better situation for the both of them. And but circumstance created opportunity, and I don't know. I think he even said that, I think, in an interview that he was just like, yeah, it just worked out, so we did it. I mean,
hey, I'll take it. Whatever the reasoning, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to mention really quick, going back to Andre Roberts, because I know how awesome he is, and I know how much Swank loves him. I think Swank, if you haven't noticed in the last game or two, Andre Roberts is starting to take the ball out 5 yards in the end zone.
Yeah.
Allen's productivity and Allen's success, I think, is the reason why Andre Roberts' success is so much, because now that you have an offense that you can march down 97 yards down the field, why won't you bring it out? You know what I mean? So look for Andre Roberts, possibly. Maybe it's my bold prediction to score this week. I've said it every other week, I think, for Andre Roberts. But gosh, man, get after it. I think
that's the only thing he hasn't done. That's the only thing he hasn't done is take one back for a touchdown that these other top tier guys have done.
I'll quote the great John Madden, and I'm gonna try to quote it in John Madden fashion, but
Big sack.
When you have great players, playing great, well, that's just great football. Oh,
that's
that's a great example, John Madden.
Can you say with great players come great responsibility?
well, yeah. With great players comes great responsibility. Boom. Boom. Brett, have you ever seen Brett Favre up close? The guy is unbelievable.
Jesus.
You guys all giggling.
Oh, that's great.
Also, I want to touch on what Swank said earlier about some fans still being upset. I think a lot of them are upset because Allen got sacked 8 times. But I want to say he got sacked 8 times because he's not panicking in the pocket. As a quarterback, right? As a quarterback, you're not going to go 50 for 50 for 500 yards. You're going to have to take a sack every once in a while. You're going to have to survive one play to go on the next.
He goes 50 for 50 for 500 yards next week against Arizona.
Exactly.
That'd be amazing.
Justin, please record that and play that back.
Oh, it's going to be on a loop.
No, I said
people still have a problem with that though too.
But you got to,
He went 31 for 38 for 416 and 4 touchdowns. So
you got to throw some away. You got to take the sack. You got to live to play another play, and that's exactly what he was doing.
There's certain members of Bills Mafia that forget about the last 17 years before the drought ended and how devastatingly horrible the team was for a lot of that time. And not that the light went out and not that there wasn't hope, and that's what makes the whole fan base what it is, but there's this sense of entitlement with certain fans to where they're well, we should just win every game now by 30 points, and we should be doing this and this, and it's they go down the roster and they find these guys that have barely played. Why hasn't Tywan Jones had a carry yet? You know what I mean? They just the most ridiculous thing. And we've said it a million times, I feel on this, where you just gotta enjoy the moment now. Remember all those times in the last 20 years where it sucked. It was just horrible. Where it even got close a couple times and it just sunk your chest out. You know what I mean? Enjoy this. You beat legitimately the MVP candidate, right? Everybody's talking about Russ Wilson for all of these weeks. And now the storyline isn't that Josh Allen had a phenomenal career game. The storyline is that Russell Wilson had a bad game, even though he threw 300 plus yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, right. So I don't know. What I wanted to say about the sacks really quick. Did you guys hear about the thing with Jamal Adams and Pete Carroll? All
I heard was, go ahead.
Yeah, so he went. He's trying to make this big impact his first game back after this injury, and he was calling his own number, and he was blitzing just when he wanted to blitz, and him and Pete Carroll got into it. I did
see that.
Yeah,
I did.
So he got home on Josh at least once, if not twice, and that was all great.
Yeah.
But then he kept doing it, and then there was guys, in the secondary being "Hey,
stop.
we're missing these guys. What are you doing? And it was a big thing, and I credit that a little bit to those sacks, and that I'm okay with him taking a couple. I know the O-line got banged up, and I know that he's still got that little bit of hero in him that like everybody wants him to have.
Yeah.
So he'll extend a play a little bit too long sometimes, and you're gonna have that, you know. But yeah, I don't know. 8 sacks don't bother me. It just didn't bother
Hey, can
me.
we use the pisser in between a sesh here or what?
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, you can go ahead. This is a family-friendly zone here. You can disappear whenever you want. Just please come back.
No, but
That's right.
I'm glad the 8 sacks they didn't bother me either because they were so quiet.
Yeah.
And you know who else they didn't bother? The guy that went 31 for 38, 415 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a touchdown rush.
Right.
And that's who we should worry about if it bothers or not. And it didn't scare him at all, which was pretty sweet, pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
But as far as the Jamal Adams things go, you wonder why the Jets got rid of him so quick. And Jamal, you can call your own number as much as you want, get the sacks that you want, because clearly you're a me guy, because your safeties and corners got torched for 415 yards. So,
well, I think
good for you, Jamal.
Anybody who has any doubts about the culture thing and the process thing, and you can make all the jokes you want, but nobody on the Bills would do that. You know what I mean? Not without either owning it at least, or they wouldn't like willingly put themselves in a bad position to like.
And it would happen once.
Yeah, exactly. And then they'd hear about it.
Yeah, and McDermott would take him right off the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, I have a question for you, quick.
Hit it.
I'm going to go back regarding the passing of Sky. Actually, I want you to do a quick plug. I know you mentioned it before, but what's the foundation that everyone's donating from the Bills Mafia? I know it's up over $250,000 now. Do you remember what the cause was?
O'Shea.
Well, it was, O'Shea, was it a hospital?
Yep.
Yeah, Children's Hospital. And we've donated so much money. I had the last number I saw was $260,000.
Yep.
But they have something up on Twitter now on their site that is actually keeping a tally so us Bills fans can watch as it goes in. And a lot of people are donating $17 for Josh Allen. But obviously there's a lot of people donating a lot more.
Yeah. So props out to the.
I'm sure he needs the money.
No, it's for the. It's not for him, Nick.
I know. I'm just saying.
But props to the Bills Mafia for that. But I'm going to bring up something that we talked about probably in week 3 or week 4. We can touch on this really quick. After the game, apparently Josh Allen met with DeBall in the locker room, and he kind of like gave him a hug and kind of let a little emotion out when they were talking together. But with Allen and DeBall's relationship, we talked about week 2 or week 3 about DeBall taking a head coach job if it's offered up someplace. Do you think he's still going to take a job if he creates these relationships with these players? If they win the Super Bowl, if they don't win the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah. You got to take the money.
I mean,
yeah.
Come on. Are you kidding me?
You have to. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what the game's all about, man. I mean, I
that's sad.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's sad. Look at college football coaches.
You got to do what you got to do.
Those guys are sleazeballs. But I'm not trying to defend, NFL coaches or college coaches, but listen, man, there's big money in NFL, right? If you have a chance to take care of your kids, why not do it? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yep.
I think any one of us would jump at that opportunity.
Yeah.
So no, just because you're creating relationship doesn't mean that you're leaving that person if you go on to bigger and better things. So I think a one-on-one, what he's developed with Josh Allen, that's going to last his entire career.
Yeah, that already.
That's how you lead people. So Dayball is just not a coach; he's a leader of men, right? So it doesn't matter that if he gets an opportunity to leave and go elsewhere and lead other men, let him do it.
Yeah,
let him do it.
And those men that he's leading are going to want him to do that too.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to throw it out there.
Well, Jared, but the good thing that's happening in Buffalo is that the quarterback coaches and all that stuff will just take that next step and become the offensive coordinator and not miss a beat. They're all learning under Daboll, and it's just going to continue on.
Yeah,
and,
unless he takes
next year Allen might just be calling his own plays. You never know.
Yeah. The only thing I could say to that is, like, what if McDermott did that? He's the guy that created that whole culture in Buffalo. That's, the process, and we're a family and all that stuff. And what if he decided that, I'm not going to chase the money and the head coach job. I'm going to stay in Carolina. You know what I mean? And be with Ron Rivera because he's a great guy and this one's a great guy.
True.
Blah, blah. Instead, I'll just go to Buffalo and then I'll bring every single one of the players I like to Buffalo, and that'll be it.
And they'll have some success.
But
All right, guys.
We beat the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, 44-34 in a game that a lot of people didn't expect the Buffalo Bills to win, but they came through. They dominated from the beginning, and it was awesome to watch. Now we're going to be going to Arizona this coming up next week. This coming up Sunday, we're going to go see the 5-3 Arizona Cardinals, but we're bringing the 7-2 Buffalo Bills record with us. We're bringing a defense that's revamped, an offense that's kind of getting going again. I shouldn't say kind of. They're getting going again. And a special teams that's clicking. Scott, I'm going to start with you really quick. With this Arizona Cardinals game, any concerns, anything that you're getting anxious about?
Well,
Look at that smile.
there's a couple concerns. I mean, you always got to worry about DeAndre Hopkins.
But besides anything else?
DeAndre Hopkins, 60 catches, 730 yards, receiving for 3 touchdowns. I mean, the guy, he's an all-pro. He will be every year he plays. You always got to worry about him. The way I saw Trey White handle DK Metcalf and the way Trey White's handled DeAndre in the past, I think I'm okay. I would say Kyler Murray would be a concern because the guy runs it just as effectively as he passes it. But my approach defensively would be, I think it's not much of a different game plan than what they did with Wilson. Same kind of quarterback. I think you don't change much. And that'll be my projection later in the game. You'll see my little highlight there. But
Teaser.
I think my biggest concern would obviously be DeAndre Hopkins. And if you can control him, I think we'll be all set. Because, if they go after Kyler Murray like they did Wilson, I think they'll be all set defensively. That was easy. You use Klein as a spy or an attacker, and you'll be all set.
There's another guy on the Cardinals. His name is Kyler. What is that? Murray? Yeah, Murray. Kyler Murray.
Was that Marv Levy that helped you with that name?
Yeah, that was Marv that actually, in fact, helped me out. But
he's in the locker right there to the right of you.
The least of my worries is DeAndre Hopkins. Kyler Murray is a freak. He's a man among boys. The guy runs a 4.240, right?
That's his height, though, too, right?
Well, you guys aren't much taller than 5'7". I don't know why you guys are.
Hey, I'm 5'11". You keep me out of this.
Yeah, I'm not playing that.
I mean, I would worry about Kyler Murray. The guy can throw the ball, run the ball. I mean, listen, it's going to be I think it's going to be a shootout. I would hope so. I mean, at least I'm going to watch it. It's going to be a shootout. But listen, I think it's going to come down to who makes that play on defense. But it's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Nick, do you think you should approach Kyler Murray like you did Wilson?
No. No, Wilson doesn't play the ball as much as he did. He's sneaky fast. Wilson is. Right? He's always been, but
he can break the pocket
as much as he used to. I think Kyler Murray is just an X factor, right? I think Russell Wilson has a better arm, is a better quarterback, right? But Kyler Murray, he's just as good as far as throwing the ball more than 20 yards downfield. I'll give him that. But as far as him rushing the ball, he's the X factor, right? That's something you have to plan for, and I'm excited to see what he does against the Bills. I think it's gonna be a good game, good matchup.
See, I'm going back to the Lamar Jackson game last year.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Bills handled him pretty well.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, though. Come on, guys. Really? I'm not sold on the guy that much as you guys are, or maybe
not anymore.
The NFL is. I'm really not. He doesn't show up in big games. That's his MO.
Before the season started, I thought that he was actually going to be worse than he is this season, because I kind of thought he was like a Kaepernick flash in the pan. Like when he came out with that style of play, everybody was like, oh my God, what do we do? And then the very next season they shut him down. And with Lamar Jackson and that Ravens offense, it's a little different. Like the RPO, like you know what they're doing. Like I was saying that to my wife like last week when we were watching the game. It's like you know exactly what they're doing. Like it's always an RPO. and you always know if he's going to hit this lane or this. Like, it's one of two choices, and for some reason, they can just execute the hell out of that.
Yeah,
and it works. But I don't think that I think he's definitely taken a step back compared to his MVP season last year. I don't think anybody thinks he's that.
Well, the NFL's smart. They pick up on that stuff quick. They adjust quick. Remember, they got linebackers that can run 4.3, 4.4, 4.5s now in the NFL rather than the slow guys they have in college.
Yeah, but I think his defense made him look that much better. Yeah. Let's just be – they really – I mean, obviously, they helped him out. But listen, Lamar Jackson's a superstar. He's a Pro Bowler. I just think Kyler Murray, if he's got stock, I'm buying it. That's it, right? I think anyone would say that, but
he's like a scat back. He's like a jitterbug. I mean, he moves. He's shifty. He can get around those defensive ends that go around him. He scoots. I mean, it's a lot different running style.
When he runs, he's just
yeah. So Nick,
actual footage of Kyler Murray running.
I think the fact I made fun of his height earlier, but I think the fact that he is kind of a smaller statured guy,
you lose him,
makes it his ability to get up to high speed quicker. You know what I mean? So when he decides he's going. That being said, do you looking for a Klein, or is this the game where you bring Darren Lee up to spy on him because he's got the 4.3 speed too?
I like the Darren Lee bring up and Swank.
I mean, he's got 4.3 speed, but he ain't got 4.3 like game speed. Like Kyler Murray on a football field in a game scenario, ain't nobody matching up against that guy.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm sorry, nobody.
No, guys, I don't know about you, but I'm liking this non-Bill, like the guy that doesn't watch the Bills play. I like the banter. We can argue a little bit about it. Yeah. No, thanks for bringing that to the table, Swank.
I love the Bills.
Well, Swank, real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Swank, real quick. Kyler Murray's a rookie, right? And you talk this time in and time out.
He's not a rookie.
Oh,
he's not a rookie.
Yeah.
You say this time in, time out. You put a hat on this guy, he's gonna hesitate.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make him more scared when he gets pummeled to the ground a couple times? Do you think you got to put a helmet on?
Listen, you guys are homers.
I'm thinking of Tua. I'm sorry, I'm going Murray.
I love the Bills just like anybody else. I'm just trying to give the guy props. Listen, it's going to be great.
He deserves it, right? Yeah.
It's going to be a great game. It's in Arizona. The roof's probably going to be open. It's a natural grass field, right? It's going to be a great game. This is how the game was meant to be played. It's going to be a great game. That's all I can say.
So what I have to say about Kyler Murray is this. I think he's going to get his plays, right? It's going to be the same deal. I agree. He's 10 times the runner that Russell Wilson is right now. Russell Wilson is a threat, but he hasn't pushed the envelope in a couple years now. He breaks off his plays. Kyler Murray, I think he's a smart kid, and I think he takes his opportunities similar to the way like Josh did, like his rookie year, but he's more productive than Josh was. So, to me, the way you contain Kyler Murray is that you do a similar game plan that you did to Russell Wilson, but you got to get more pressure with those big guys up front. And I think you spy him with A.J. Klein. I don't think you bring up Darren Lee. No, I think what you got to do is you got to put that pocket around him. I saw against that Seattle game, like with the Seattle game, he was getting pissy. You know, when he wasn't getting his way, he was getting pissy, and that's a second-year quarterback. That's somebody who got a lot of props and praise last year, and coming into this year, you know, his big D swinging, all that stuff. Like, I don't know. I agree. You knock him in the mouth, you put him on his ass, or you make him make those hard decisions. The way that Levi Wallace played this last week, which we didn't even talk about, right? He did a hell of a job. Dane Jackson came in. He made a couple plays. You know, like there's finally like getting to be a little stability across from Tre'Davious. So Kyler Murray, I think you got to not necessarily make him one-dimensional, but you got to make him uncomfortable a little bit, you know.
Squeeze that pocket on him.
I don't think you sell out on him because then he's going to torch you. But I think you gotta like at least kind of be like, you stay in this general area. Then the other person, obviously DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, man. That dude's there, and he gets open because DeAndre gets a lot of attention. So I know he's when he runs, his bones creak and dust flies out his ass, but he's still making plays. So I wouldn't sleep on him. The other thing that I wanted to bring up about this game, to switch over to the defense really quick.
Okay, I got to write a note because I want to get back to Murray.
Right. You didn't get to the offense, right? All right.
No, I want to, Swank, I just want to do a quick plug before you do the next one.
Oh, you
want to contain the defense, right? You want to make a pocket around him. So is this a game that you see Epinesa inactive again? You see Murphy playing. You see all the leaders, the older vets playing on the field, just so they don't lose contain. They don't lose their gap responsibilities against this kid.
I don't know. Whatever they did this last week looked good to me. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with all that. It's working, but I don't know what they're like. What the criteria is for, like, you're active this week, you're inactive, like whatever.
What I'm saying is you don't want the young kids in there screwing around, maybe forgetting an assignment. You want the older guys in there.
Like Kyler's a young kid, so maybe you do want a squirrel back there. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
put Josh Allen on the line.
That's the approach they brought with Wilson, is that you did not see him escape the pocket.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you get to Kyler Murray. If he's going to escape, he's going up the middle. So squish the pocket in on him. Don't overrun him, obviously, because he can scoot out the backside and get some yards. But you create a big pocket and squish it in on him and make him spit out the middle somewhere where Klein can maybe put a helmet on him.
Yeah, I think
it's going to be tough.
As far as
Murray's going to be tough.
As far as like Klein's assignment, I think like you got to do what you did with him this week. I don't see any other way that he's helpful. And that's not like saying that like that's the best way we win the game. I just don't think that he can do anything else. And if he's back there getting a little disruptive, then I'm fine with that.
You guys lost me for a second. Were we talking about defense, or was that? Did I black out?
You blacked out. We were talking about the defense.
I want to see some offense. I want to see some points, and I want to see Josh Allen versus Kyler Murray. That's the story.
Yeah.
Let's push that. That's the story.
No,
you ain't wrong.
You ain't wrong. Josh Allen's going to be throwing the ball, and Josh Allen's also a running quarterback. So it's going to be tit for tat. You think it's going to go back and forth the whole game, or?
Dan Alonji, thank you for his service. Shout out to all the veterans out there. Thank you, Dan.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate you, Dan. Eric Gordner does not like Lamar Jackson, thinks he sucks.
I see that.
Eric, I apologize. You, sir, are not watching football. You're watching English football. I don't know what you're watching.
It's weird because, like, as a Browns fan, I thought that he might have, like, stopped harboring all that hatred towards the Ravens for stealing his team. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, you called Eric a Gordon. You called Eric a Browns fan.
I'm gonna be totally honest. I mean, it's complete fraud from the left, from the right, from everywhere. Probably the biggest fraud of all time, maybe ever. I don't know.
Oh gosh, I think. What are you drinking, Nick?
Yo,
I need some of that.
I'm about to switch to whiskey here pretty soon too.
All right, Swank, what was that other angle you were going at before I cut you off?
So switching back over, so like the defense, Arizona defense, right? I think there's some things to be worried about. They're pretty stout, whatever, like middle of the road defense. I think what we need to worry about the most is Jordan Phillips. And I think it's because he plays with so much passion, and we know that from him being in Buffalo. And I don't think he harbors any ill will towards Buffalo. There's probably a little resentment because he didn't get offered a contract. I know he enjoyed his time up here, but I can see him. I mean, he's had like an average year. I could see him playing with purpose on Sunday.
Turning it
blow up a little bit.
Yeah, and trying to get – I mean, he knows Josh Allen. He practiced against him for all of last year, right? And he knows what they're about. Well, he knows what last year's Josh Allen is about. So, for me, like X factor-wise, I think that's the thing to worry about. I'd really like to see the offense get some more of those little crossing route, quick plays out. You know, you want to avoid those little 8 sacks or whatever. You might want to get the ball out just a little bit quicker on some of those timing routes, especially when they're blitzing you nonstop.
Is it 8
Yeah.
sacks in one game? Is it a record? What is?
No.
No, didn't the Bills have one of those records against the Redskins?
Yeah, they had, I think, 8, but Derek Thomas had 8 sacks against Denver Broncos, I think, back in the 90s by himself.
One play. Holy, wow.
Yeah. He was a beast, Derek Thomas.
I
Rest in peace.
remember that game. Rest in peace, Derek Thomas. He actually passed away.
Oh, did
Yeah.
you really?
Yeah, I think it was a car accident or something.
Wow.
Yeah, early
Gord-
2000.
Gardner is not happy with me because I mislabeled him as a Browns fan. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I
It was a
called you.
joke. I
Oh, wow.
apologize.
I didn't catch that. So
he's
yeah.
He's 100%.
He's
Just to
just
clear the
real
record, he is a
angry.
Bengals fan. Who dat? So I'm sorry.
Oh, he's got a great new
You know
quarterback
what?
there over at Cincinnati.
I would not mind being a Bengals fan. I think there's other things that are worse than that. You know?
Yeah, like being a
Right
Browns
now.
fan.
Jets fan.
I'm okay. Bengals are trending upwards, but
Yeah.
Jets. Can we talk about the Jets, or do we have time?
Sure,
No,
we can
it's-
do whatever you
Let's not
want,
talk
man.
about the Jets. I mean,
Jets showed everybody hope, and they're like, okay, let's let them win because we want.
listen,
more.
if the Jets were in the NFC East, they still have a chance.
Oh, Joe Flacco has
Yeah.
zero emotion. The guy throws for 300 and something yards and 3 touchdowns, and he's like, he doesn't move.
Right.
You know he passed Joe Montana for some
He
stat
doesn't move.
last night.
Did he
He
really?
passed Joe Montana for some like record.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm not kidding at all. It was
I
it
would
might have been
believe-
yards, to be honest.
Oh, no
Oh,
way.
jeez.
Yeah, I read it
He
today
was
on
the guy that
like
was
ESPN.
a Super Bowl MVP, Joe Flacco.
Why?
I mean, it was 10 years ago, but come
Yeah,
on.
seriously.
He looked good last night, but man, in Jets fashion, there's 2 words that are synonymous with Jets fans, and it's almost and win. That was it. Almost win. That's it. That's all they've seen in the last 2 decades. They've been the worst team I've ever seen in the past 2 decades.
Yeah, they're pretty
Yeah,
anemic.
they're horrible.
I read this article where Adam Gase was praising Frank Gore, which I mean, obviously you do that, right? But he was just like, some of
I
these
like
young
Frank
kids can learn a little something because he comes in here and he plays 100% all the time. He's not playing like we're 0-8.
I mean, is this
Yeah,
the
but-
same coach that was in Miami a couple years ago, and now Miami is in the playoff hunt?
Yeah.
Well, he was a quarterback. He was coaching Tannehill, and look at Tannehill.
Look at Ryan Tannehill. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. Adam Gase, he might be a genius, but
No, he's
there's
not.
more to that than just being.
It doesn't translate to the players or the field.
You got to be a good leader of men. Is he a good leader of men? I don't see it.
He, I mean, every place he's gone, the superstars want to leave. So
Yes.
he got
Yes.
He got lucky with
Le'Veon Bell couldn't
Yeah.
stand him.
Jamal Adams. You know,
Jamal Adams couldn't stand him.
Yeah.
You're right.
a lot of-
Something wrong with Adam Gase.
Yeah.
He got a bunch
wrong.
of hype because he had one good season with Peyton Manning as his quarterback. Like,
Yeah, like not too shabby. Peyton Manning, top 10 quarterback of all time.
Top 10? Seriously? Top 5. Are you paused there?
I don't know, Jared. I would say top 6.5.
hot take, man.
Right.
Bottom 10. Bottom 10 for me.
Right.
You know?
Hey,
Jared, what's your biggest concern this week?
my biggest concern is Murray. Just the fact that he can get around the pocket and run. And he's fast. Like I said, he gets up to top speed very quickly. It's going to be how our defensive line and linebacker play is. But Murray, because the receiver Kirk and Fitzpatrick or Fitzgerald, whatever, and Hopkins.
He's a legend. Whatever.
Do not sleep on Larry Fitzgerald.
No, dude.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
just-
But they're nothing without a quarterback that can give them the ball. And the fact that Murray can give them the ball and he can run the ball too, it's scary. But I'm trusting Leslie Frazier to come up with a good game plan against him.
I'm telling
he's a
you, if
small
Leslie
stature.
Frazier can bring that defense to smack him in the mouth quick, he's going to throw
Yeah.
balls early. He's
not going to
be
happen.
able to-
Leslie Frazier, first of all, his name's Leslie. Not going to happen. Whatever
Leslie.
that guy does, he's going to be
Leslie.
compared to a female. So I'm sorry. He's going to lose. They're going to lose just because his name is Leslie. It's going to happen.
Listen. Wagner.
Remember when you were like, it's good
Listen.
to have somebody with an outside Bills perspective
Yeah,
on the...
Here it comes.
Listen, really quick, Wagner. If Frazier comes up with a good game plan and shuts Murray out, you have to post a video of you apologizing to all Bills fans and post it on 24/7 Buck Fandemonium.
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right,
I'm
perfect.
okay with that because I don't care. That's the difference between you and I. I just don't care. I'll do it.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
saying Leslie Frazier not sold on the guy.
All right, listen.
Sorry.
You guys good with the Arizona Cardinals talk? You want to get to the pick'ems and the bold
Let's get to the
predictions?
What's the pick? I'm sorry. New to the show, first time caller, long time listener. What's
Long time listener. You going back to 95-1? Those two that got fired. Anyway, pick'ems we're gonna do AFC East pick'ems. It's gonna be the San Diego versus Miami and the Baltimore versus Patriots, and then we have an NFL random pick'em. So
Let's roll.
let's
go.
We'll go with the AFC first. Swank, I'm gonna let you go with the Bills versus Arizona. What's your final score and your bold prediction for the game?
All right. I'm going to say Bills win, and I'm going to say they score I'm going to go 28-17 is what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm thinking that I think they're going to get the job done here. I don't think it's going to have to lean so heavy on a blossoming offense, but I think that defense is finally getting their schist together. And my bold prediction is that Micah Hyde gets a interception, runs it into the touchdown area there. You know, he touches right down in Arizona, gets cleared for landing in that pay dirt, boy, and just rubs it all on his tummy in a celebratory way.
We do need a pick six. We haven't had one all year, right?
Trey
was
was so
years.
close. So close.
What's the early line in that game?
3.5.
Oh, I thought it was 2.5. Is it
It
3.5
might
now?
have changed.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
I
Arizona.
heard it super early today, so it could have.
Cardinals are the dog?
No,
Yeah.
the Bills are underdog.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
No respect.
Yesterday it was 3.5, Swank, I think. 3 or 3.5, but you might be right with 2.5 now.
Yeah, I think I heard earlier today it was 2.5.
Okay.
I can't do over
Real
one
quick,
and a
no. I didn't know they were the underdog. Did you know
Yeah.
Cardinals combined opponents' records 19-43? They have a 31% winning percentage.
That's nice.
I like
So
that.
they beat up on the 2-6 Washington, 7 Cowboys, and the 0-9 Jets.
Yeah, we beat up twice on the 0-9 Jets, so.
Well, they also lost to the 3-6 Panthers and the 3-6 Lions. So I don't know how they can do that.
Scott, you're a very half glass. My glass is half empty kind of guy. Can you be a little bit more optimistic, maybe?
Pretend like you're on a duck hunt.
About giving a team an advantage that's only beat basically the Seattle Seahawks, and that's it. I mean,
What's your prediction?
my prediction is 35-17. I think the Bills are going to treat Murray like they did Wilson, and I think that's going to be a solid
Oh my God.
strategy.
You guys are fucking brainwashed up there. Next, Jared, go ahead.
I also think Hopkins is going to be treated just like
And Nick take over hosting the show.
Nick's the host.
You guys
Like,
are
all right.
fucking-
Trey White's going to handle Hopkins,
You
and
guys
I
are
think Murray.
Well,
But I
can
also
view him
think
somehow, right?
my bold prediction is I think Hughes catches Cornelius Bennett and gets 2 sacks this game.
Oh, there you go.
Who?
Nice. All right, Nick Wags, what's your Buffalo Bills Arizona prediction?
Okay, so the Cardinals win easily. Now, this isn't a slight on Buffalo Nation or fandemonium. This is because I believe in Kyler Murray, right? And I know Josh Allen's great and all, but I believe at the end of the day, the Cardinals pulled out at home. And I say it's a low-scoring affair. I say the Cardinals win 27-19 easily.
All right, 27. Write that down, Jared, so we can.
27-19 Cardinals. Prove me wrong.
Is the 19-3 field
Yeah,
goals, or is that
How'd you get 19?
is that Kyler Murray being somewhat of a savior, getting sacked in the end zone?
3 field goals, of which maybe
No, 3 of 5 field goals. 2 field goals go wide right in the 15 yards.
Don't you come on this live stream and say wide right, Nick. What the hell?
You can't do it. Second time in 8 weeks.
I'm still surprised security hasn't come and booted you out of that fucking locker room yet. What the hell?
I'm sorry, Doug. Okay, Doug Christie is walking me out as we speak. I'm not leaving anywhere, sir.
God. All right, so my Buffalo Bills score is going to be 42-21. Yeah, I don't know. I think that Buffalo's on a roll here. 42-21 Buffalo.
Wow. Buffalo. Okay.
42-21.
It makes sense. I hope the Bills win.
Do you?
But I'm
Do you though?
You can't retract your offer there, Nick.
Yeah. Okay, listen, Nick, we're going to let you lead the way with the San Diego Chargers versus the Dolphins, bub.
I like the Chargers in this game. I think Herbert is a monster. I think he's an up-and-coming beast. Where's the game? Is it in Miami?
In Miami.
It is. So I like the Chargers. I'll take the Chargers with a dog in this game too. And I think they win, and they win easily.
That'll help us out.
All right, I'll throw this out there. I got San Diego winning too. All right, Scott, go. Who you got?
Chargers. Miami looked good. They have a great record, but I like Herbert. I think he'll win.
Swank, what do you got, bud?
I'm going for I got to catch up, and Miami's playing at home, and they've had a hot hand, so I'm going to go with Miami on this one.
I think Tua has a bad game here.
I personally don't even think Tua is like – he hasn't proven himself. He could be a great
I would agree.
But I've heard there was one hot take here on – what was it? Yeah, it was yesterday. I can't remember what stupid website it was from, but the guy was saying that Tua is now he's moved into Sam Darnold's role, and he is now the best quarterback in the AFC East.
What? Already? He played 2 games.
Yeah, and the first game he didn't play well, and which is fine. He's a rookie. He's learning. But this dude, like it was just like clickbait trash, and he was saying that Tua was the top quarterback in the AFC East.
Sam Darnold gone, right? Gone.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, really fast. Well, yeah, no, we're gonna do this. I'm not a Sam Darnold fan. I think he's overhyped. I think he's like Phillip Rivers and Jay Cutler. I say it every week. Sam Darnold, whatever. Maybe if he was in a better.
Phillip Rivers was not a bad quarterback, just to be.
Yeah, but he never did anything, right? Like he never.
He was in San Diego. They had a terrible team.
Yeah. But that's the common like argument for quarterbacks like him, right? Like,
but you put Phillip Rivers on the Bills in like early 2000s, and then they might make the playoffs.
Maybe. That's exactly what my point is. That they say the same thing about Jay Cutler when he was sleepy-eyed throwing passes up in Chicago, and if he was in a better situation, he would have been something. And I just I don't know. I can't believe that there's these dudes that get like all this slack, and then you have somebody like Josh Allen who's playing, 7-2 season. He's
3 years,
setting
right?
personal records. Yeah, 3 years
3
now.
years?
Yeah. So it's like even like dialed up next to Sam Darnold for the last 2 years or 3 years, he's been, even though he's got a better record, he's had more playoff appearances. He's all around been the better player. He's still not as good as Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold somewhere deep down in his bowels has some potential that's going to be fired up.
Right.
So now
I agree with you.
This guy's saying the same thing about Tua, and I don't want to give Tua a bad shake or anything. I think he's a good dude, like whatever. I'd like to see him be successful. I just can't believe that you would homer out a dumb take like that after one win that he was responsible for. 2 weeks ago, it was the defense and the special teams. So, I think they're trying to move him into the Sam Darnold spot and kind of take Josh.
I hope he turns into a great prospect. Like I hope he really turns into a really good, productive, quarterback in the future for the Dolphins because
absolutely
they need a great quarterback. Let's be honest. They haven't had a quarterback since Dan Marino.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, right? So yes, they need something, but is Tua the answer?
We'll see.
Nobody knows, It's
Not,
just
not
like,
through 2 games.
yeah,
Not through
absolutely,
2 games.
absolutely.
I like him. I like him though. He's highly likable.
Yeah, and I like
He's
the
got a good
Dolphins.
story too.
He's a phenomenal quarterback. He might be the best of all
Fantastic.
time.
What?
best that's
Are you
ever
drinking
played
away
is
from the bottle now?
Unbelievable, incredible, fantastic.
But you're right. I mean, Tua won't have the special teams and the defensive scores he had him for him 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, and then they did just beat up on the Cardinals. So
Yeah.
you could thank him for that at least. And show
I kind of wish it was the other way because I wanted us to go in there. It was the same story as like the Seahawks game, and the Cardinals beat the Seahawks and blah blah whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I like how defenses built their team. It's a lot like the way the Bills built. So I think it'll be fun for a long time. But it's just like so disrespectful.
Yeah,
and
throw 'em
it's
in there.
So like just like I said, like a whole
I mean, yeah.
take.
The Steelers are the best team in football.
They haven't played anybody yet.
Statistically
Now with
speaking, yes.
Roethlisberger with COVID.
He's got
Any
COVID
given-
now.
Any given Sunday. What do you mean they didn't play nobody? They played some teams. They
No,
played
they
8
played-
teams.
They played 8 teams.
Are you sticking up for Eric now?
No, I'm not. I'm just.
They played
I
the
don't wanna
Jets
be-
8
I'm
times.
Not a Homer. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan. Listen, I'm an Eagles fan. Okay, I'm in first place and I have 3 wins. Through 9 weeks. No, I'm not. I'm not a homer. I'm just saying. Listen, guys, the team is a good team. Their defense is.
Their defense is top notch.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Baltimore travels to the Patriots to play. Is Cam Newton going to get another second win in a row, or what? Scott,
No
I'll have
way.
you lead the way.
I'll
What you
make,
got
I'll
for
make
that
it
one?
simple. Patriots are going to lose. The Ravens aren't going to exchange money at halftime and say, okay, you can win this game now. The Jets gave it away. I think that was a Trevor Lawrence kind of game, to be honest with you. They kind of threw that away on purpose.
No.
I'm going to say it. It's
I
rigged.
disagree.
But I think the Ravens are going to win.
Swank, what are you praying for?
I just want to hear what Nick has to say because
I
Nick, go.
disagree. I would disagree. I think I'm not high on the Ravens, regardless, but I think they lose. I think the Ravens lose this week. What's the line on the game?
No idea.
Can somebody give me a quick line on the game?
Ben doesn't have COVID. He is in protocol. Right. Eric, you're right.
6.
He is in COVID protocol, but he was in close contact with McDonald. That's right. You're right. Sorry, Eric.
It's,
So I gave that news to Eric a couple of days ago, but I'm not high on the Ravens bandwagon. I'm really not. I think it's going to be a great game, but at the end of the day, they lose. Ravens
Patriots
are
win
losing.
then.
I agree.
All right.
I think Cam Newton is coming off a good game. Not a great game, but he played well. I mean, did you guys watch the game? I know it was versus the Jets, but listen, he played well. Cam Newton looked like Cam Newton. So I say he beats Baltimore.
I'd say
All right,
if
I'll
he
write
looked
that down.
like Cam Newton last week, then he's going to need at least 3 more weeks to recover so he can get back to looking like Cam Newton again. Dude, I heard so they were talking about this is another thing. I hate everyone that reports on AFC East quarterbacks. They called Cam's game against the Jets a statement win. That was a statement game and a statement win. And it's like, dude, again, like Cam has had his time and he's gonna go down in the history books and he made it to a Super Bowl and he's MVP and blah 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 and all that stuff. He's tired. I don't think he's got it. I don't know. I'm so sick of people making excuses for players that aren't producing. You know what I mean? If you're not producing, like you can just be like, hey, he's having an off year, or hey, he had an off game. You don't have to like ride his sack when he beats the Jets because
He had the
nobody.
He had COVID.
No.
He had the COVID. He's getting fine.
No,
I'm wearing a
Swank,
mask though, dude.
To your point, how quick did they throw Josh Allen under the bus
Yeah,
after week 5, 6, and
Yeah.
7?
it's
Because he had a
bad.
couple bad games. They were
Yeah.
quick. Bam, he sucks.
Yeah, well, yeah, and we
Yeah.
beat the Jets, and it was a horrible game. It was a horrible win. Like and now the Patriots do it, and they're what 3-5 or whatever they are. Like, and it's like, well, it's the Patriots and it's Cam Newton, and it's a great story. That's the whole
That's the
thing.
society. That's
Yeah.
the society. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
Like that's what it's always been, and that's what it will continue to be forever.
Yeah.
That's it. These guys are getting paid 30, 40 million dollars a year. What have you done?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's it.
And
All right,
Cam,
Swank. So I'm going to put you down for Baltimore.
oh yeah, Baltimore wins for sure.
All right. I have the Patriots winning that game.
I like it, Jared. Love it.
He wants
Only
some
because
more
we
of
need
it.
Baltimore to lose. We need to get a bigger edge on that AFC division. All right, Nick, this is where we go to an NFC team, or not an NFC, NFL team. Any game you want to pick. You can have the upset. You can have a toilet bowl. You can have a sure pick. But you get to
have your
pick one
Eagles.
game.
Pick your
You
Eagles.
can pick your Eagles to win.
I'm going to
But-
pick my Eagles to win handedly. I believe they have the Giants this week. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, they're in New York. You're right.
Okay. So, yeah, that's my pick of the week. Obviously, the NFC East is struggling a bit. I mean, the Eagles have been – come on. The injuries versus the Eagles this year is unfathomable to figure
That's
out
like
what
my fantasy football team.
It really is insane.
Yeah.
It really is crazy. So they are trending upwards, right? Which is that's very minutely, but they are trending. If it's this much, I'll take it. The NFC East is up for grabs. The Eagles are trending upwards. They win handily. That's my pick of the week. Eagles.
All right, I got it written down. Hey, Nick, to add a little bit of confidence for your Eagles, do you remember when the Carolina Panthers went 7-9? They won their division and they won their first playoff game.
Yes.
Everyone counted them out, but it's a different game when you get to the playoffs. You just have to get there.
NFC South that year was bad, but the NFC is the worst I've ever seen it.
I'll agree
It's
with
bad. It's bad, but
Mhm.
what are you gonna do?
And luckily, Eric's Steelers get to play all four of those games for those teams.
All right, Swank, who you got? What's your toilet bowl?
You know, I'm between a couple here, but man, I want like redemption because I hate the Browns. So I'm gonna say that.
I was going to say, because Cleveland's playing this week.
Yeah. So Houston is traveling to Cleveland, Ohio, and Houston's horrible. But I'm gonna say it's a little bit of a trap game for old Baker. Coughs a lot, COVID man, and he I don't know if he's gonna play. Right? Is he gonna pass? I don't think he'll be there in time. So I'm gonna say that the Browns are gonna lose to the Houston Texans in Cleveland. And that's toilet bowl because Cleveland is actually a toilet
Brown.
bowl. So
Now-
Just real quick, Roethlisberger, among 3 other Steelers, have been placed on the COVID list due to McDonald testing positive.
Wow.
I think Eric confirmed that via chat a few
did.
minutes
Yes.
ago.
He did. Yeah, I mentioned that already.
That's an actual confirmed story. I just looked it up. WPXI Pittsburgh, downtown Heightsfield. I'm in the locker room of Buffalo Bills.
Now listen, Nick, I'm going to go on you with that. I have the Bengals upsetting the Steelers this week, just because
Okay. I like it. I like
listen,
it.
Ben's got to be on a 5-day quarantine, so he's not going to be at the office. He's not going to be at the stadium. I think they're going to finally get that
Yeah, but
hiccup, and that's going to be this week.
The quarantine started Sunday night, so I don't know.
So they'll
what-
be there Thursday. Right,
If he,
yeah, because they have
if he tests negative Thursday, Friday, he's good to go.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so Sunday night he was in close contact. They have to go
Yes.
5 days from when they were in close contact. So
So
I'll
what does
say
close
Thursday.
contact mean? Is that like spooning or?
it has to do with
Working.
what PPE you had on, how close you were with them.
It's only cuckolding. It's only the cuckold. If you don't cuckold the night before, you're cleared.
Scott, go ahead. What's your pick of the week?
This is no. This
You
is
stole mine.
This is Biden's America. Come on, man. This is Biden's America.
No politics. You took my pick with Cincinnati, and I was going to go on a rant about the Steelers. I mean, they get to play the NFC East. They've also played Denver. They've also played, they really haven't really played anybody except for Baltimore and Tennessee, and they've lost by combined points of 7 points of those teams. With the COVID thing going on, I think Cincinnati and Burrow beat their rivals. So
Really?
I was going to go that, Jared, but since you already picked that, I'll go something else. I would like to see the Panthers make Tom Brady look like he did this past week.
Back to
Panthers.
backs. That'd be
Panthers
sweet.
over Buccaneers.
I almost picked that
That's
one.
my pick.
Nice.
And Eric, I'm a Steelers fan. It's a traditional team, but when you're playing the NFC East and you've only really played 2 teams and you beat them by 7 total points, they are 8-0. You got to give them credit for it. Their defense is tough, but they're not playing.
Where's the game this weekend? Is it in Pittsburgh or Cincinnati?
It's in Pittsburgh.
You gotta take Pittsburgh. That's the X factor.
Just
The home team.
Just to update.
That's the X. I love Joe Burrow. I like the Bengals. I think their stock is up. But listen, never count Ben and the Steelers out ever. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, I can't. They're gonna win.
What are you saying, Swank?
Just to update, and I'm waiting for Eric's response to number 2 of 2 twins picking the Steelers to lose. Oh, and here it came. Eric said, and I quote, that Jared he said, "You're on crack," 5 exclamation points for picking the Bengals.
I always say I'm on crack every time I sit down.
And then he kind of screwed himself over because he said, "We almost made the playoffs with a duck collar last year." And I'm going to say the Bills smoked the Pittsburgh.
Almost doesn't count.
My aunt had balls, she'd almost be my uncle.
Listen, I just want to throw this out to Eric.
Come on.
You're 8-0, Eric. Your Steelers are 8-0. You're playing a rivalry game with those Cincinnati Bengals. You're having a rough week with the COVID. The only reason why I'm picking Cincinnati over the Steelers is because it might be a trap game for you. And you guys got to lose one, right? I might as well go for that upset. And we have a competition going on, so I got to win that too. So I got the Cincinnati Bengals over the Steelers, bud.
Don't bow down to Eric, Jared.
I'm not bowing down.
Eric, the only reason I did this is I like you, buddy. But
no,
anyways,
trap game.
Right.
Bengals are terrible, Eric said. All right, guys, what a night, huh?
What a night.
Good night. Thanks, Nick. Man.
Yeah,
Nick told us that he was going to be kicked out of that locker room about an hour and a half ago. That never happened. So I don't know how the security is over there.
For a couple more hours, do you mind? You lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. Do you mind?
Listen, Nick, I want to thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for joining our party tonight. I want to thank happy birthday to the Marine Corps and thank every man and woman in the service that's protecting our country. Are you right? Oh, who's coming over? We got another special guest.
My daughter's going to come say hi real quick.
Okay.
Oh, sweet.
Now, is your daughter rooting for the Eagles too? Are you an Eagles fan too?
Are you an Eagles fan or a Steelers fan?
Nick's pensioner. Eagles. Go Bills, right?
Go
Get
Bills.
out of here.
Go Bills. That's right.
She's an Eagles fan.
No, Nick, I love that you did that because it just brings back that we're all family guys here and nothing's more important than family. And I'd love to see that. It's awesome. Again, any closing thoughts for today? I'm going to start Swank. You got anything to say?
Yeah, just that, I apologize for making all that fun of Eric Gordner and joking around about all of his favorite teams. And
are you guys scared of Eric?
yeah, man, I'm super scared of him, man. He's a tall
he's like
guy.
6 foot, 120 pounds.
And when you're a fan like he is, like when you truly love a team like the Washington football team, like Eric Gordner does, you cannot mess around with a guy like that. He's passionate. He calls them the Redskins behind everybody's back, So you gotta have respect for a guy like that. So I apologize, Eric, and I hope that the football team goes far and Alex Smith doesn't lose a leg or anything else like that. And go football team.
I'm actually rooting on Alex Smith. Go for him.
Yeah, me too. I'd say this was our statement win. This wasn't a fake Cam Newton Jets statement win. This was absolutely a statement win, and I think this week, if they can keep the momentum going and they can pull this out, then people have to start taking notice and give them the respect that they deserve. An 8-2 record going into a really, really hard 2 games before a bye would be amazing. So go Bills. And if you'd like to listen to any of this audio, you can always go on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Anchor.fm And, join in with us every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 24/7 Buff Pandemonium, the K-Gun Report.
Oh, yeah. All right, Scott Dynasty. We're going to have to change that next week. What is your final thought for tonight?
I usually go on a rant about angry Bills fans, and there's a couple, and I'm going to stop. I'm going to start avoiding that. I got a quote here. A lot of people claim to say that they had the quote themselves, but it strikes home. It strikes home for all the military guys out there on Veterans Day. We don't know them all, but we owe them all. And if it wasn't for them and our freedoms that we have today, we wouldn't be able to do this. We wouldn't be able to watch football every Sunday. And there's a lot that we would not have if it was for our military. So I appreciate it. We do not know them all, but we owe them all everything. And thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Can I leave you guys with one quote? And this is important. And I wish you guys would understand this, right? I mean, the willingness of America's veterans to sacrifice for our country has earned them our lasting gratitude. That's what we owe these guys, right? So if you're not a military supporter, understand that human beings sacrifice themselves for what we can do with our freedom. And that's more importantly, that's what matters, right? Mm-hmm. So remember that. And that's it. That's all I have. I appreciate you guys letting me on the show. And, I wish to be a guest back on shortly. Appreciate it, man.
Well, if Marv let you in, you're more than welcome, man.
if you bring me one of those helmets behind you, bring me one of those helmets behind you.
Will do.
That was really good.
And with my closing thoughts, it's I can't say it any better than you guys have already done it. We appreciate everyone who's sacrificed in the military. We have our freedoms because of every single one of you. I always take pride also because we have a lot of family members that are in the military that our Buffalo Bills are red, white, and blue. And that's probably one of the reasons why I love them so much, because they represent not only the New York state, but that red, white, and blue represents what we put on our backs every day to push forward and be successful and live the dream here. So go Bills. Nick, again, thank you for your service. Thanks for everyone who's served our country.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back on here. We love the banter back and forth. You added a new flavor to the show. And it's good to see your daughter coming on. That's awesome too. Family is very important. And guys, we traveled down to Arizona. Hopefully we come out 8-2. Hey. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.